Hello again everyone, Craig here from Soundiron, and in today's walkthrough we're going to be checking out the newly upgraded Voices of Rage. This library is an aggressive death metal, hardcore, and metalcore vocal library that explores the raw, brutal, and guttural vocal styles that death metal and metal genres are known for. This library combines vocal performances with powerful word and lyric building systems, tempos, synced phrase step sequencer features, and tons of cutting-edge capabilities. So for this new update, we've revamped the user interface, making it much more intuitive and easier to program and sequence these realistic vocal performances. And in the original version, we had 4 singers, and for this new update, we've also added a new singer by the name of Redouan Awamur, who has a really powerful and charismatic vocal style and a really broad range from really brash black metal style vocals to really guttural and brutal style vocals. So before we go ahead and start checking out this user interface, I want to go ahead and play for you a little bit of a demo that I wrote that utilizes Redouan's vocal styles, and it's really cool to hear how it sounds in the context of like a death metal, deathcore-ish, extreme metal style track. So let's go ahead and check that out, and then we'll start breaking down the user interface and how it all works. Alright, so let's go ahead and start checking out some of the user interface. Right now I have the Redouan Wordmaster 1 loaded up. You'll see up here you have a sequencer, a word list, and a mic mixer. So for the sequencer, you can turn this on or off. You have the ability to plug in different words right here, so that's really cool, especially if you want to build out your own lyric palette. You also have a word list, so you can see all the different words available. If you click these different tabs, you can see all of these here. In the manual, it lists all of the different words as well as the different lyrics for the different songs, which we'll get into later on when we start looking at the phrases. So you can do it that way, or you can use this word list if you want to be able to see all the different words that are available in the Wordmaster. And then below this, you have some different sound shaping controls. You got volume, attack, offset, release. You can turn this on or off. You also have legato as well. Then you also have this stretch knob, which we'll get into a little bit later. You can also pan and pitch this as well. And then to the right of this, you'll see that you have these 2 different options for tone. So you got this evil, and then you got this rage right here. You can layer these together, or you can use one or the other. It's really up to you. So let's have a listen to the evil. And you'll see that you have 2 round robin. Now let's have a listen to rage. You can hear it's this very howly inhale, and when you combine these together, really get that evil, just brutal sounding layering of the vocals, which is really cool, especially if you're doing any kind of really aggressive metal or death metal stuff. It's very common in those types of styles to layer these sort of vocals together. And then down here for each one, you can control the way that you pan them. So if you want to pan one to the left and one to the right, you can do that. And then you can also choose whether you want it to be a sustain or a staccato. So right now these are set to sustain. If we set these to staccato.
Kill, mother, night, boy.
I usually like to have these set to sustain because I feel like you have a little bit more control. If you don't always want it to be short and you want to be able to just go
Kill,
or
kill.
And I feel it makes it a little bit easier when you're sequencing in these different words.
Let me by.
Kind of choosing random words here, but you can see how you're able to go from short to long pretty easily, or you can set it to just staccatos or just sustains or vice versa. And then going into the effects rack, you have some different effects to choose from. So right now we have this reverb on here. If you want to hear how it sounds without the reverb, let's go ahead and have a listen to that.
Kill,
Very dry.
I.
You want to put some distortion on it. Division, fate, destruction. So So now that we have the reverb turned off, I want to show you some of the microphone positions. So let's have a listen to the stage now. Right now I just have the studio. Let's have a listen to the stage.
I lick her.
Or you can combine these if you want.
Destruction. Die.
Or just have the studio.
Destruction. Die. Division.
So when we were going over some of the different sound shaping controls at the bottom, I mentioned the stretch knob. And what's really cool about this is that you can stretch some of these words. You can even automate this if you want. So let's learn this to our mod wheel. And then if you want to be able to slow some words down, speed them up, to really make them fit your track, you can do that really easily. So right here is pretty much normal.
Destruction. 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 Division. Division.
And this makes it really convenient when you're trying to craft some of these words to your tracks, because sometimes you might want a word a little bit quicker or a little bit more dragged out. So being able to automate this is really useful, especially for really making these customized and fit your tracks. So since we're in the mic mixer, I want to show you a little bit of the other features in here. So you have your basic volume. You also are able to pan here as well. And then you also have this width knob. And this just helps widen out the sound a little bit. So let's play around with this.
Destruction. 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 Die. Die.
So you can see when you go 100%, it really widens it out. I would like to usually maybe have it around here, just to give it a little bit of width and not go too far with it, because you can get a little bit of that sort of out of phase sound. So I don't want to normally have it that high, but just enough to where you get that nice wide sound. That's where I like to have it. So since Radiowan is the newest singer that we've added to this library, I want to open up the Wordmaster 2 that he did to give you a little bit more of an idea of the different range in his style. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Destruction.
So you can see it's very that really high, aggressive black metal kind of style vocals.
Flame.
And this is when you have it set to evil. So let's check out Rage. And this is a little bit more of that kind of like low to low mid sort of aggressive growl style. It's not really like guttural and like burly like the other one, but it's a little bit more of that mid range, which is nice because you want to have that range of, you know, going from really high to really low. So he pretty much kind of fills in the gamut of all those types of styles, which is really cool. And sort of what I would use if I was creating some kind of death metal track with these different vocal styles. And then you can also combine these as well.
Destruction.
I'm going to go ahead and turn the reverb off so you can hear how it sounds just by itself.
Fire. Fear.
Or just one or the other.
Fear. Fear.
So along with having this word and lyric builder, you also have phrases as well. You have all these songs that have lyrics throughout the entire song, and you can mix and match and pick and choose and build your own songs off of these, and also combine them with the Wordmaster to really make them unique. So right now we have it set to growl. You have the option of growl or screech. Right now I'm just going to show you the ones for growl. And then you have these different songs right here. So you got all these different ones to choose from. And if you want to see all the lyrics for these, you can go into the manual and you can see all of them there. So let's just check out some of these.
Phil has left the table. He sat beside the price I paid.
And then you can also sync these as well.
Phil has left the table. He sat beside the price I paid.
Or you can do variable. And this is pretty much like the stretch option that we showed you earlier, but you're able to do that with the lyrics. So if we play around with the stretch,
Phil has left the table.
Or we can go faster.
Phil has left the table.
And I like to learn this to different CC controllers and program this in, because maybe you have a part of a song where you really want it to be a little bit more drawn out. You can do that too. And then within this, you also have the sequencer and the mic mixer as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the reverb. and then show you a little bit of the sequencer. So one of the really cool things about the step sequencer is that you can sequence these different lyrics and phrases however you want within the sequencer, and then you can just use this pink key right here, and this will allow you to just cycle through.
Felix left the table. Felix left the table. He sat beside the price I paid. He sat beside the price I paid.
So you can also customize this as well. So if you want to start programming your own, let's just program some random stuff. You just click right here, click to assign step, click that, and then just press a key.
Felix left the table.
Okay, and then let's go to the next one, click assign.
He sat beside the...
And then let's click this one, click step assign.
Do it.
And then let's do another one.
Do you fit?
So then if you go back to the step and then play this pink key.
Felix left the table. He sat beside the price I paid. To wasting me away.
And then you can also customize these as well. So if you want to take any of these steps and maybe take a word out, or maybe just use this part right here. I don't know how this is going to sound. This is just sort of showing you that you have the option to pick and choose certain parts of a lyric, or really only use like the first part or the last part, or whichever part you really want. So let's go ahead and cycle through these again.
Felix left the table. He sat beside the price I me away.
So you see, you can pick and choose which parts of the lyrics that you want and really craft them to make them your own. And combined with the Word Master, you can really get a lot out of this. All right, so now let's go ahead and load up the Screech, and let's pick a different song and give you an idea of how this sounds.
Walking on, oh man, sweeter the best. Love freeze.
Let's set this back to normal.
I'm gold, like ice cold deep.
All right, so let's check out the Red Dawn Phrases 2 NKI and give you a little bit of an idea of how these sound. So you have the option between Black, which is a more black metal style, and then Death, which is a more death metal style vocal. So let's have a listen to the black metal style.
Fear has left the table. When you come around, what does sentimental mean?
Now let's have a listen to the Death.
What does sentimental mean? Who was honored for her service? Fear has left the table.
Then we got some other songs down here.
No more son. While I was peeling back, blood, volley, pumping, racing.
And one of the really cool things is you have a couple different variations on some of these lyrics. So right here we have this one.
No more son.
And then if you go up 1/2 step,
No more son.
it's the same thing, but it's got a little bit of a different twist to it. So you don't always have the exact same phrase all the time. You have a couple different options. So if you have a certain lyric repeating later on and you want it to sound a little bit different and not sound like a one shot, you can just play the next key up and get that variation, which is really cool. So with this update, it still includes all the original singers. So right now I have the Aaron Wordmaster loaded up. His only has one vocal style, but let's go ahead and check this out.
Destruction. Down. Father.
So you can see Aaron's vocal style is a little bit more of that hardcore kind of sound, and it's nice to have all these different variations of singers in different styles, because let's say you're commissioned to do a track and it needs to be a little bit more hardcore, not death metal. You have some different options to choose from. You see he's got that more, that kind of like thrashy. It's not quite like a black metal high scream, but it's not quite like a growl, sort of like this like middle ground, which is cool.
Master. Night.
So while we have the Aaron Wordmaster loaded up, I want to talk a little bit more about the sequencer. So right here you see I have all these different lyrics plugged in, and you can sequence these just like you did with the phrases.
Betrayal that buried your empty fate.
So one of the things that you can do too with these is when you click on this sequencer step, down here you have a mode, and you see that you have sustain or staccato. And this is just if you want to be able to quickly have it to where it's programmed in the way that you want it. So if you're like, I know this word, I want it to be short, it's a staccato. If you want this word to be long, it's a sustain. So as you're sequencing, you can...
Betrayal!
that buried your.
So it really makes it easy, especially when you're programming in, or you can just have them all to sustain and play them like how I showed you earlier, where you can just play it short or play it long and hold it. So a couple different options, which makes sequencing a little bit easier. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the Evan Wordmaster NKI. And with him, he has a couple different styles. So right now I have the Rage selected.
Master!
It's got a little bit more of that metalcore sort of style.
Flash!
Or you have Evil, which is that very low inhale kind of style.
Destruction!
Or you can layer these as well.
Destruction!
So let's go ahead and check out the Jason Wordmaster now. And if you don't know who Jason is, he plays in the band Impaled. So he's got that really aggressive death metal style. And there's a couple different variations for him as well. So let's check out the Rage. It's got a little bit more of that old school death metal kind of sound. And then you have the Evil, which is kind of a more howly sort of inhale. Or you can layer these together. And with combining some of these different layers, you can fill in the spectrum a little bit, because sometimes certain growls might be a little bit more mid-range and fuller, and then some of the inhales might have a little bit of a different tone. So by combining these together, you can get some really unique combinations for the vocal styles. Voices of Rage also comes with a female metal singer. So right now we got the Mixie Wordmaster loaded up, and you have a couple different vocal styles as well. So let's check out Rage. Now let's check out Evil.
Master!
Let's go ahead and combine these. So the Evil, it almost has this like whispery sort of witchy quality to it, and then the Rage is just straight up like female metalcore style vocals. So a couple different options here. Mixie also has some different sustain types too. So if you want some more clean singing with some more like typical like ah, e, o, and then some whoa sounds, let's go ahead and check those out.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And then you also have some and then some ah with P and F. And then if you want to soften these, you can use the attack, increase this to get a little bit more of a. And then you can also use a pseudo legato as well. This library also comes with some different vocal effects as well. So right now I have the red one loaded up, and you can see there's some grunts, breaths, chants, some laughs, some roars. Let's go ahead and have a listen to some of these grunts. And these are really good, especially if you have certain parts where you want to just kind of punch it in with a grunt or something like that. You just, you know, because sometimes songs will have that where it'll just have this like little grunt sound and then go into the next part. And I actually utilize this a little bit in my demo, which I'll be doing a video breakdown on that as well. And then you can also take any of these grunts and learn them across the key range as well. So if we click this icon right here, select that grunt. Almost sounds like a lion or something. Just really cool being able to take some of these and just play them around. and then one called roar. Now let's check out some of Evan's. So this one is the breaths 1. And these are cool if you want to add some breaths before certain words come in, so it really has that realistic sound. He's got some shout shorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then some shouts long. And these are perfect for parts where you want to have some screams over long pieces of music, maybe before a verse comes in or right when a song comes in, just starts off with like some kind of scream or growl. These are perfect for that because a lot of times in these sort of styles of music, these parts really come in handy when you have these sort of long screams to just kind of hold over a part. So it's really cool. Let's check out the Jason shouts. He's got some whispers. And then you can take some of these, learn them across the key range. Get some really unique sounds, almost sounds like a wind tunnel or something. Now let's check out some of Mixie's. This one's called Breathy. It's a really creepy, almost like witchy goblin-esque sound. She's got some screams. Scream 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well as some effects.
No worries. That's Carson. Do you want that growl or a little less? Growl! You guys are gonna be like, what the hell? Okay.
And then with the vocal effects NKI, you have 4 different layers to choose from, so you can layer up these different singers together. If you really want to have some unique combinations by combining like a male singer with a female scream or that sort of thing, you can do that in here. And then if you go ahead and click up top, you have the Advanced tab, which has an LFO, filter, and an arpeggiator. So if you want to utilize any of these kind of features to get into a little bit more sound design territory, you can do that too. So before we go ahead and wrap up this walkthrough, I want to play for you some of the ambiences that come with the library. There's 12 to choose from, and there's also some subsynth sustains and staccatos, and where you have 4 different layers to choose from, so you can mix and match and combine different ambiences. Also utilize the effects rack to get some more really ambient sounds using some different effects like delays and reverbs and other effects as well. So let's go ahead and play some of these. This is the first one. Let's check out this next one. So if we want to load up another layer, let's turn on the second one, and then we'll use the first ambience so you can combine them together. And then if we want to add some subsynth, let's do that. Let's load up a sine. Let's turn on layer 3, and let's find another ambience. Let's just pick a random one up here. let's hear just this one by itself. And then you can also pitch these down, so if you want this one to be a little bit lower, or you want to make this one higher. Alright, so that about wraps up this walkthrough for the new Voices of Rage update. If you want to learn more about this library or check out some demos to hear it in action, make sure to go to soundiron.com or click the link in the description below. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on future videos like these, and until next time, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
So long as you